My therapist says I have a preoccupation for revenge. We'll see about that.
Grab a chair, mess you with this is down. It's my podcast. This guy's insane. Rock your brain. It's just a sound. A Steve here
Smack 'em a gob, it's me, Ralph, and oh boy, I got myself a really cool dude back on the show. I'm talking about Mr. Jackson Rawding. How you doing, Jackson?
Great there, Ralph. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man. Thanks for being here, man. And we're going to talk about an album that you were kind enough to send me, Morgana Lefay. And the name of the album, I have it in front of me here, but my glasses aren't on. What's the name of the album?
Grand Materia.
Grand Materia. Now, you were on the Manowar episode, and, you know, those who heard it, Jackson's a big power metal fan. He loves the power metal. And you can say Morgana Lefay is kind of like in the genre of power metal.
I think they defy it a little bit. I think they're like more mainly power, but there are some traditional and a little bit of thrash, especially in the last album, which I want to get for you one day.
All right. Well, I hear a little thrash on one of these tracks coming up. We'll talk about. Well, you know how I discovered it. You sent it to me. How did you discover? Well, how did you discover this band?
Good thing you asked. I had it right here. So in late 2013, I'll give a small plug out to like the record store on record label, Scrape Records. I've been a regular customer since 2008, and I go pick up my stuff, and the owner, JJ, got to know my taste in bands and metal over time, and he really knew what kinds I liked, and I had a pile of stuff I'd get roughly once or twice a month, and so I'd chip away at it or clear the whole thing, and this time when he brought it out, he had Morgana Lefay, Sanctified there, and I was like, who is this? And he grinned, and he was like, if you like Tad Morris, you're going to love these guys. This is a stellar album. And I was like, all right. I bought it with a few other albums, got home, listened to The Time, and listened to, at the time, the new Stryper album, No More Hell to Pay. And then after that, the album kicked ass too. But I remember after that, I was put on Sanctified. And as soon as I heard Out of the Silence, I was hooked. The whole album blew me away. And the next time I returned to JJ, I was like, damn, you're right. This album kicks ass. I love these guys. I've been a fan ever since.
Right on. Would that be your favorite album by them?
Sanctified is my favorite. This is a close second. Like Grand Materia is a damn close second. But Sanctified just has that like, not like that good, like not bad 90s, but that good 90s sounding kind for metal. Like, if you know what I mean, like it has that, you can tell it came from the 90s, but
oh yeah,
but not in a bad term. Look at a good
term. And have you ever seen them?
No, I'd love to. That's a band on my bucket list, but I'd love to see them. I've seen clips live on YouTube, like some decent footage, and they look like they're pretty good and fun live. So, and he can still sing awesome. Like the singer's Charles, he's still got killer vocals.
Have they toured the States?
I think they've done a few one-off shows, but they've never done a full proper tour in the States. But I think they might have played at Prague Power before. But
okay. You own everything they put out?
Oh, I don't own the first album. It's fucking expensive. It is really pricey. Like, I like buying stuff, but it's out of print. But if I want to buy it, it's like $100.
Yeah, hold off, man. A lot of that shit gets redone. That's that, you know, like I like that band Skid Row. Well, you know, the first album, whatever. But that
Skid Row.
That second one's pretty heavy, and it's so expensive. And I held off, and look, it's going to be, well, it was supposed to be released on Record Store Day, but, you know, that's been canceled because of Corona. But it is being released whenever Record Store Day happens. So there you go, man. Hold off. Don't buy anything expensive because eventually it's gonna come back, you know? Or, you know, who knows? Maybe you'll find a cheap copy.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I've been looking and searching online, and I haven't found anything. And I know Wayne Noon sent me some links to find. Like they had a re-release of the first album, but even the re-release they released years ago is expensive. It's like half the price.
Wow.
It's like $50. I know it's just insane. It's really good. I have it pirated for now. I would buy it if it was reasonable, but the band, if I buy it online now, the band ain't getting any of that money. It's some guy who's profiting off of it, and I would love to buy it. It's a good album, but I don't have it because it's expensive.
They're still together, right?
Yeah, they split up for a bit, and actually, it's interesting you mentioned that they split off kind of into two bands for a bit. They had one that was just like the guitar player went off and kept the name for a bit, and then he released a really terrible album that doesn't even sound like Morgana Lefay. And then the other with Charles, they had called Lefay, and they released two albums which sound the same like Morgana Lefay. And I own one of them. I actually don't own the other one. I own SOS, and that's a really good album. The other one I don't have, but then they went back together for Grand Materia, and that was the first album of them reunited back together from the split. And then after they released the last album they only came out with was Aberrations of the Mind, and that came out in 2007, so 13 years ago. That's a long time since they've released any music.
Wow. Well, check it out, dude. As we are speaking, people that are listening that don't know who Morgana Lefay is, they fucking rule. And the people that say, "Oh, Morgana Lefay," I don't know who they are, so I'm not going to listen to the episode. Posers. That's all I got to say about that. So, hey, man, why don't we go into the album, man?
Yeah.
Since you are my guest, why don't you take the first track, which is the title track,
Sure.
Grand Materia.
So before we get into that, I'll say the albums for people who might not know is about the legend of Nicholas Flamel, the alchemist from the 14th century, and it's interesting headbang sing-along tune. It's like it's kind of like reminds me of this album, like sort of like with the concept albums of like 80s like King Diamond in a way. How they tell a story in this album. I mean, it kind of reminds me of that in a way. Like this whole album has just one concept. And
I did not know this is a concept album.
Yeah, this whole album's a concept album.
Oh, okay,
so it goes from his point of view of just of being this guy discovering the Philosopher's Stone and getting immortality, but it's not all cracked up what it to be, and he kind of just goes through it. Life just kind of it's not what he expects, and he's kind of just doomed to walk the earth forever. But it's a Grand Materia is a good way to kick off an excellent concept album. Really like the rhythmic drum beats between verses. I also like the catchy chorus vocals, and with the backup vocals, it gets this story going and the motion. But how did you feel about the first song?
I think it's pretty thrashy in parts. Like what you were saying earlier, they have a little thrashy elements. I love the tightness of the riffs that play along to that double bass drum. And I hear a lot of John Oliva in this guy's vocals. Do you hear it?
I do too. I was going to bring that up a bit when I got to that song, but yeah, I'm glad you hear it too.
Yeah, I was like, man, this guy sounds like John Oliva, man. And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
This guy, hey, man, nothing against, what's his name now? God, I forgot his name. The guy, Edge of Thorns. Zach, the guy replaced John Oliva.
Oh yeah,
Great.
Zach. I can't remember his last name. Zach
Stevens.
Oh, that was way off.
Great singer, but he doesn't really sound like John Oliva. This guy sounds like John Oliva a lot.
Yeah,
and it's awesome. I think that's awesome. All right, I'll take that next one. It's called "My Funeral Is Calling." It starts with that soft bass intro, that pops. It pops up here and there later in the song because the way this song is structured, it's very well placed how those soft little bass interludes happen in the song, and I really do like this one a lot. It's got like this really cool melodic solo. It's and the verses are pretty pounding. I think this is an exceptional song. I would say probably my second favorite on here. What do you think?
Really? My Funeral's Called. Yeah, I like the song quite a bit too. It's not my favorite, but I dig it a lot. And this part of the song is about him just trying to fake his own death and replace it with a corpse, and just so he can kind of disappear and walk among men. So this is what the song's about, and he's worried that other people might sell him out, that he's not dead. So that's the point of this song, is him faking his death. But I do like
kind of like that song "I Roam." Is that also about him faking his death? Because that, I don't know. I kind of got that. I don't know. or I was thinking, like reading those, because I read the lyrics to this too. I was
Yeah.
reading along, and I was thinking, not that he faked his death. I was thinking, oh, because I didn't know it was a concept album. I thought, is this a song about a dude that's dead and like his spirit? But we'll get into that when we talk about that. But that's interesting. My Funeral's Calling is a song about this dude. What's his name again?
It's Nicholas Flamel.
Nicholas Flamel faking his death. Interesting. All right, why don't you take the next one? Only Endless Time Remains.
Yeah, this song I dig quite a bit. I love the build up to the solo and the way that Charles just puts a lot of his emotions in the song when he's singing it and just the verses and gets to the solo. I don't know. I really like it a lot, and the lyrics are good too. So it's like you can kind of feel what the character is going through. So I mean, I didn't get that right off the bat. Like the first time I listened to this album, I didn't know it was a concept either. But the more I listened to this, it's just the more all this entire album grew on me, and I had to know what the whole album was about. So yeah, I really just dig that solo in there. It's just at the end, it's good. How do you feel like this song?
That's my favorite part of the song is how, because it's a very chilled song, and then when it gets to that solo, how the song ends is my favorite part. Mm-hmm. But as you would say, this one was a grower on you. I guess it's a grower on me because I kind of feel like it's just okay, but I really loved how it ended. I mean, I got that right away. I really liked it. But the next song is my favorite song off this album.
Oh,
I mean, this song just flat out rules. I love that hollow, the backing vocals in the chorus, and when he changes, there's a part in this song where it's not exactly guttural, but he sings like really, really heavy. There's a little section that's like my favorite part, but the whole song is awesome. This is hands down my favorite song. I think it's an exceptional song. What do you think of Hollow?
Wow, I didn't expect it. I thought your favorite song would be different. A lot of people who like this band and love this album, that is their favorite track is Hollow, and they give it so much praise. And I don't think it's the best, but I do like it's a good song. It's just not my favorite, but I don't know. Like this one was one of the singles. I think this was one they chose to be the single off the one, and it's got the studio and the backing. The guitar player Peter Gren is the hollow. He's doing the deeper part.
I love that part.
I think it's cool that you like that part. I didn't know what you were gonna think. I was like, oh, he probably doesn't like this or that much, or maybe he thinks it's okay. And no, it's that nice.
Yeah.
I thought.
There's a couple songs coming up I'm not too crazy about, but this one is my favorite. It is my favorite.
Yeah, there's one on here I'm not too crazy about, but the rest I like. But yeah, I love. The Edge of My Mind. I love that main riff in the song, and the performance from all members is great. I love the drumming, the guitars, the pace of it. And I even think when you first told me when you listened to this album, this was like your favorite song, I think, at the time.
I mean, like I said, it's a grower. I mean, I've listened to this album quite a bit, but, when you wanted to do it, I've been, cranking it in my car, listening to more before Edge of Mine. I mean, after Edge of Mine was my favorite, but it's Hollow, dude.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. So, I like Edge of Mine. Like I said, it was my favorite when I, the first couple of spins, I was like, oh, this is my favorite. I hear a lot of Pantera type riffage. I don't know if you hear
it. Wait till you get to the. I want to get.
Oh yeah, no, there's another one too. Oh yeah.
Wait till you get to the next album. The next album, I want to get you Aberrations of the Mind. You'll hear some Pantera chugging right in there, and some.
Well, I hear another riffs. Pantera chugging in a future song on here, but I do hear some Pantera riffage on here.
On the Other Side, I like that song and how it chugs along once again. I really enjoyed the emotional vocals from Charles. He's like killer on every track, but more on others. But I feel like he's just given this album his all, and he came up with wrote most of this entire album, like the lyrics and stuff. But I like how he sells it with his performance, though.
Well, this one, I gotta be honest, man. It really doesn't do much to me, but it's not a terrible song in any way. I just feel the songs before On the Other Side are stronger. But, this is not one that I dislike. There's one coming up that I kind of dislike. But this one I don't dislike. I kind of feel like, hey, man, It's not as strong as the songs before it, but I can hang. It's a good little bridge to the next songs, like I Roam. Now, this song fucking kicks ass.
Yes.
I love the double bass drumming you use on the verse, and that I roam, my non-existing shadow, I roam. That's the song I thought was, if you can tell me if you know what this song means in the concept of this dude's life, I was always thinking this, when reading the lyrics, I thought this was some dude that his spirit was roaming. He was passed away, but nobody can see his shadow and shit.
I think it's in between. There's a few different people have discussed it, and I think it's just he's kind of like in purgatory, like he's kind of in between life and death, and he's not dead. He's just kind of like faded, kind of. It's really kind of hard, and some people just say he's just faded out. He's like in the real world, but no one just notices him. I personally just think he's not dead. He's just kind of faded into the spirit world in this song, because I'm like, it doesn't make sense if he's still immortal and he's physically here and he'd still have a fucking shadow.
Right.
But I love I Roam. I Roam is great, and I just love the drums and like the drumming is like Robin Ekstrom. I'm a big fan of his drumming style. I would put him in my top 10 drummers. I really like the style. For some reason, that's like what really hooked me into this is his technique and just the way he plays it on this album, and just the other album after this is just awesome. And then I've watched some of the live performances. Man, is he tight live. He's just my in my wheelhouse of drummers. I'm not speaking for you, I'm just speaking for me. Like, wow, he kicks ass.
Oh yeah, he's very precise, but I feel like the whole band is very much locked into him, because the way they play to his drumming is it just feels very locked in. Especially on this song and Grand Materia.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what do you think of Emotional Sanctuary?
Yeah, it seems at this point Flamel's just regretted and escaped into his own mind. It seems in this part, like, if I'm understanding correct, he's like created his own haven for himself in his mind, where he just exists and escapes from the real world, and it's kind of like the spirit realm, but in his mind. And I kind of I thought that was an interesting song. I like it. It's a little slow, but it's not bad. It's not my favorite, but I didn't mind it. I like how it flows into my next song, which is my favorite song off the album.
Yeah, I this one just didn't connect with me. It's my least favorite on here. There's another one too I'm not too crazy about, but this one I would say, who knows? Maybe it'll grow on me. But I liked what was it on the other side more. Yeah, this is the one that I was kind of like, but yeah, your favorite song is Back to My Speed.
Yeah.
It's heavy, up tempo, John Oliva type metallic vocals.
Yeah,
chorus is a tad too happy, but I can hang. And I really dig Angel's Deceit.
I love that part of the lyrics. They're trapped in time, in terrestrial skies, fallen. I just love that part where they get to before like the bridge where it just breaks into like the freaking solo. I love that bridge, that whole bridge part. I just love that.
Yeah, it's a really cool tune. Usually some power metal, I'll be honest, gets a little too happy at times, but this one, it's just a tad happy, and it doesn't bother me. It's like, okay, it's not too bad. I can hang with this. I dig it. I think it's a cool song. The Operation of the Sun, I think is a really cool song. This may be your least favorite.
You guess it right on. Yeah, it's my least favorite song.
I kind of think it's the dark horse on the album. I think the chorus has some really cool hooks, and that's like my favorite part. Like when he's singing the Operation of the Sun, I can tell it's filler though. But for me, it's kind of like killer filler. I really dig the song, but I can understand how some wouldn't like this. And look, you're a huge, way bigger fan than me, and it's your least favorite on it. Do you actually dislike the song?
No, at first I listened to it, I disliked it, and I didn't care for it. But now I've listened to it more, and I think it's okay. But compared to the rest, it just doesn't compare. Like I'll listen to it occasionally. It just doesn't have the flow to it for me like the rest of the songs on the album do. and I just couldn't get fully into it. But I don't hate it. I just not like a big fan of it. Like the rest of the songs I can listen to and I don't really skip them. But this one I skip usually. But it's just not mine. But it's cool. At least you dig it. I did not know. It's just nice to hear other points of view and opinions. I'm like, oh, like you really liked Operation of the Sun. So and it's good. I like that. I like hearing that. I like hearing people who like songs that I don't like either care for much.
Right.
Sometimes, so it's cool that you liked it.
What did you think of the next track, Blind?
Oh, I really dig. I just love that part, like how you liked Hollow with the Hollow. I really like the "You Are Blind" dun, 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 with the riff behind it and the growly backing vocals from Peter Gren, the guitar player. I liked it. I just dug and it kind of has that almost just that groove to it. What did you think?
Yeah, excuse me. This is the one that I hear Pantera again. I hear the Pantera riffage on this one, and it's not bad at all. You know, I like it. I don't really have anything bad to say about it, but I mean, you know more about this band. I mean, is this a song that like was on the set list?
On their set list live, I don't think that song was on their set list.
Yeah, because I kind of got that vibe from this. It's like, okay, this may be a filler tune that I dig. You know, that's how I felt about it.
I love it.
I didn't like the last one, dude. I mean, I admit I like it more than Emotional Sanctuary, but you know, I know listening to this, like really diehard power metal fans would really connect with this song. I can feel like it's kind of like this one reminds me of, you know, I mean, it's chill in parts and stuff. I mean, a lot. But I feel like it's really catered to, like, this one I feel is power metal. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. I do too, but I like the theatrical performance he just gives with the character that Charles gives the song. It's like articulate. He has a way of words of this song, and I like it's good to it works alongside with him well. A great end to a phenomenal album. At first the song was like a grower on me, like I thought it was okay, but oh man, I think this is the dark horse on the album. I really do dig it, but it's not my favorite, but it's grown. It's probably the song that's grown on me the most on this album.
Interesting. So wow, we breezed through this one.
Oh
yeah, but you know, let's keep talking about Morgana Lefay. I mean, you know, let people know, like, you know, hey, if you want to check out an album, look, which album would you recommend for somebody to get into them?
I would say this album or The Sanctified. Sanctified's so killer, man. If you hear me talk about that album, I'm a huge nut swinger. I love both albums close, but I love Sanctified just has something that just hooks me with that album. I'm just like, fuck, this album's great. I'm just like, when I heard, I had that feeling of regret. Like I never got to hear this band earlier in my metal career, not like career, but listening to metal and being a metalhead. I love it. I think, in my opinion, this band is criminally underrated. They're number 15 in my top 20 now. That's how they rose. Like they were like, I checked out all their albums. I bought as much as I could from them. Like I had the second album. I also, for older school or were metalheads, I would say Knowing Just As I as well. I would check out. That's another good one. And I'm not sure how you'd feel about Aberrations of the Mind. That's why I want to find it. Like, have you ever? Here's a question I had for you. I've always wanted to ask. Have you ever bought anything off of Discogs before or no?
Oh yeah, many times.
Oh really? Okay, because I don't know how that would work, and if you have, then I would like to buy that album then off of you, because now that makes me feel a lot better knowing someone has bought something from there, because it's cheaper, it's affordable on that site. But if you like, for some reason, eBay just like charges you up the ass for that. People on eBay for the Aberrations of the Mind, but I think you might dig that one. It's a lot more thrashy and a lot more. Just heavier, and it's like you're like, wow, it's like I can't believe this is kind of the same band.
That's their second one?
No, that's their last album they ever released.
Okay.
It's in 2007. I wish they would release another album. I mean, they're still together, but I mean, if you got nothing you really want to release, you shouldn't have to release anything for the sake of it. So I kind of respect that if they don't have anything they feel passionate about to just, you know, release anything, you know?
Yeah, the Discogs is a little odd how you buy stuff on there. You say, "Hey, look, I want to buy it," and then you have to wait
Mhm.
for an email from the actual seller. Which
Oh,
I mean, every time I've dealt with it, they get right back to you like the next day, latest, and then that's when you buy it. But you can say, "I want it," and just wait for the email. Or I think, yeah, it's a message on Discogs itself. All right, here it is. This is how much it costs, and then you pay, and you can leave a little note, on it and stuff. But yeah, man, and I've never had a bad experience with Discogs because they're very meticulous on how the what you're purchasing, the condition it's in, and I've had no. I think I bought maybe like a dozen things on Discog. I haven't really bought as much as I have like on Amazon, or eBay, but I have because I found some rare stuff. And the cool thing about Discogs too is that you can do a wish list, and then they send you an email. All right, this guy's got this for sale. Um, Discogs is very. It's a very good place to go. I've never personally. I sell what I sell on Discogs is my Merciful Fate tribute album because I know that shit's pristine. But there's too many anal people out there. There'll be like a little dent on the fucking album cover, and they lose their mind. So I tend to not sell other. I sell my vinyl on eBay, which they're not as anal. And I take pictures and I show it. Well, you can't do that on Discogs. So
weird.
yeah, you can show your product and hey, look at this little tiny dent. People are like, really? All right, I'll buy it. But yeah, man. And any other albums you would recommend from Morgana Le Fay?
Oh, shit! I would recommend SOS, and it's the LaFay though. It doesn't say Morgana LaFay, but it's the same band. It just doesn't have the original guitar players in it. It's I would highly recommend that one. There's one song on there. I'm trying to remember the name offhand, and it sounds like a little bit of a bit of the riff in one of the middle part of the song has like it has a little bit of a Parasite sound to it from Kiss. Like, oh, that sounds a little bit like Parasite, but not like directly, not directly ripped off, but a little. It's got a little bit of that in there. And
Where? Go ahead.
another album I'm trying to think of the last album I would recommend from them. Oh yeah, and then what's that? I definitely would recommend the Secret Doctrine too. The Maleficium, that's the album I wasn't that huge into. I don't think it's bad, but I think some people would enjoy it more than others. I think the title track is actually the best song on that album.
Hmm.
But other than that, the only one I highly don't to stay away from, if everyone just gets back, is stay away from the self-titled when they first separated. Man, that's terrible. I can't believe that the guitar player would just completely take a different direction for the worst. Like even Wayne Noon agrees with me on that one that it's fucking terrible.
And he was the only member left on that album.
Yeah, he's the only album member on that album from the original. And it's like LaFay sounded more like Morgana Lefay than the guy who got to keep the name.
Wow.
And
Who
then it's
was Morgana Le Fay? Was that like a vampire or something?
no, it's like King Arthur's like I think it's a character in King Arthur. She was a sorceress. I think she was like his half sister or something. And
Right.
yeah, so that's where it's from. It's that's what they got the name from. They like the mystery behind it, so they just chose that for the name. And yeah, they're from Sweden. They've been around for like since the end of the like '89, and then they've split up, and then 2007, and then 2012 till present they've been around. So just doing live shows by the looks of it. And I just wish that more people would check them out, and I wish they're a little more known. Like, as I bring them up to people, and they just don't know who it is. But I mean, I get that at times too. People bring up bands to me, and I don't know who they are. I mean, or have never checked them out, heard the name. Like, man, I feel late to the Cage Party. That's what I've been listening to pretty much most of all this week is Cage and and the new Psychotic Waltz. Have you listened to Psychotic Waltz yet?
No, no, no.
Oh, that's another one I gotta get for you to check out. Oh, that band is killer. Although I think the singer kind of looks like Bob Kulick.
Oh, wow.
Like he sounds like Rob Halford, kind of.
Right on, like Cage, like Sean Peck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah. I'm glad I got you. I remember I sent you a link to Hell Destroyer, thinking you knew it. I was like, hey, crank this up. Then when you told me, holy shit, this is awesome, I'm like, whoa, you don't know this?
No,
You know?
I didn't. I just heard of the name, but I never checked the band, and I kind of thought that was one of his side projects. And so the only thing I knew him from was Death Dealer from with Ross the Boss, but I didn't know that was like his main band. And I was like, I felt kind of embarrassed, but at the same time, I was like happy that I got to hear it. And I love Hell Destroy. I got to find that for a reasonable price because on eBay it's fucking super expensive.
Wow, man. Yeah, because I discovered that when I went on tour, I think it was 2015 or so, and my drummer played it. You know, we're driving around. He's like, check this band out. And he played. I was like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
So it was when we got back home from the tour, I went right. Not only that, I bought everything from Cage.
No, I got it too.
Of course, I went on YouTube and checked, the songs out, and I was like, oh, I gotta get this album. I gotta get that album. I gotta get this album. When I saw the Three Tremors, which features Sean Peck and Ripper Owens and the guy from Jag Panzer,
Harry Conklin.
Yeah, Harry Conklin. I always forget his name. The backing band was Cage. and it was cool because I took all my Cage albums with me, not knowing, that was the band. And it was funny because the guitar player of Cage is very muscular. I mean, that guy spends a lot of time in the gym. And I didn't know he was in Cage because I never really looked at the band members on the albums or so. And he saw me with all the records. And they were, the opening band was sound checking, so I couldn't really make out what he was saying. And I was like, And I think what he was telling me, like, hey, you want me to sign those? I feel so stupid now. But, then when they were on stage, they played Hell Destroyer. And they announced, this is my band, Cage. I was like, whoa, this is Cage. And I got to see him play, my favorite song, Hell Destroyer. And then after that, I felt bad. And then, when I was handing him all the shit, I have this CD of theirs, too, that he was like, holy shit, dude, that's really, I think it's called Astronomy or something like that. He was like, dude, you know how fucking rare this is? And I was like, no, I mean, I couldn't find it on vinyl and I needed all your shit. But, yeah, man, that's, I mean, check out the Sean Peck interview if you haven't yet.
I have. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I want you to have him back on the show again. That was a cool show. Seems like a really chill guy.
Yeah, he will. And I'll tell you something he told me in secrecy after, when I turn off the recorder. That's pretty mind-blowing what project he's got coming up. That a lot of people are going to dig. He's got another project that features some very well-known players.
Ooh. And
it's going to be very, very interesting. So I'm really psyched to hear about that. To hear that. I mean, he showed me all the information. And in case you're listening, Sean, Jackson ain't going to say a word, so don't get mad.
I don't say shit.
That's right. Any other recommendation of any bands that you feel like are underrated and people haven't heard of yet?
I feel Psychotic Waltz, especially since you haven't heard of them or you've heard of them, but you haven't listened to them. The name. I highly recommend Mosquito, A Social Grace, and fucking Bleeding. And the new one's killer too. And they also do a killer cover of Disturbing the Priest.
Oh,
awesome. Yeah. So awesome band, a good just stoner prog metal, but with some power, with kind of like a power metal, Halfordy type vocals, and I really dig them. I don't know how much you will or not, but I think you could appreciate some of their music though.
Well, I'll check it out. I mean, I like to hear, because to me, Disturbing the Priest has the most sickest screams ever caught on tape. Especially how that song ends with, and that is my favorite song off Born Again. So
nice.
I'd be very, very interested to hear that. All right, dude. So anything else? Any other bands you feel like underrated, nobody knows about?
Ted Moros is one. I'm sure you've know them.
I've heard of them.
I feel they're very unappreciated. I miss that they don't have what's his Urban Breed is the vocalist is he's in Sirius Black now, which Wayne introduced me to that band. I really dig them too, so that's pretty cool that he's active again. But I really do think they're underappreciated. Another band, there's quite a few that I feel are underrated or appreciated. I think Manila Road is in some ways too, but I think they're getting more appreciation now as time goes on. It's sad that Mark didn't get to live longer. He's taken away too soon. I wish I saw them live. That's a band on my bucket list I'll never get to see. I got into them in like 2013, and I just thought like, wow, this is like right in my wheelhouse. I just dig it was so different too, because it just sounds like old school, straight up traditional heavy metal, but it's got that weird, like, the production's always kind of weird on his albums. It's kind of like not bad, but it's not great. It's kind of weird, but I just appreciate the way he does the albums, and I really like that track by track he did of Crystal Logic with that other band I never heard of that I checked out right afterwards.
Yeah, they were kind of like Jethro Tull.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I like that. I like that. It was cool. That's what I liked about track by track sometimes, is that there'll be an album I don't know in it, and I'll go check it out afterwards, and that's what that did for me. I was like, oh, I've never heard of this, then I'll check them out. And so that was neat. I like Sir Thungal too. I think they're.
I love Sir Thungal. I'll tell you the funniest story of Sir Thungal. My friend Pat, awesome band, historic band that's very underappreciated, called Hell Witch. Hell Witch has been around since the mid. They're one of the first death metal. I mean, I wouldn't even say death metal, but musically, riffage. I mean, it's very eclectic, crazy. And the first time they're a local band, but let me tell you, when we played a show with Napalm Death, Barney freaked out. Hell Witch was on the fucking the bill. He was like, "Oh my God, Hell Witch!" I mean, I saw, he was like glowing backstage. Are the Hell Witch guys here? They're very well respected in the very underground. Anyway, Pat is a good friend of mine, and one day I called him, and I'm playing Sir Thungal in the background. And I'm like, "Hey, Pat, what's up?" He's like, "What's up, Ralph? Hey, man, what are you listening to?" I go, "Oh, I'm listening to Sir Thungal." And then he goes, "Ooh, the Sir Thungal." I go, "Yeah, you like them?" He's like, "Nah, they suck." That's Pat.
Awesome. I'd have still laughed anyways. So I'm like, whatever.
Oh, no, I love Sir Thungal, but, just by the way he does that.
Yeah, it's funny.
Like you think he'd like it. Ooh, the Sir Thungal. Oh, you like them? Nah, they suck. I love that. He is a character, man. But, all right, dude. I want you to grab your collection right now and come with me inside the vault, okay?
Right.
All right, Jackson, we're in the vault. I'm sorry, I haven't dusted in here in a while. I want you to let the listeners know if there's one song you want people to, hear from Morgana Lefay, just something that, like encompasses what this band's about. I don't know if I used the right term, encompass, but, just a song that will like pretty much tells you this is what you get from Morgana Le Fay. What song would that be, and what album is it off of?
In the Court of the Crimson King, off Sanctified.
That's isn't that the title of a King Crimson song as well?
Is it? I haven't listened to King Crimson in so long.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think it's the same title, but I think that's also a title of an old classical piece by Wagner or something. I don't know. But all right, so let's listen to this, dude, and we'll be right back after this metallic break.
Never
Right on. That was In the Court of the Crimson King from Morgana Lefay off their album Sanctified. Well, dude, it's been a pleasure. You know, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate your support, everything you do for me. And that goes for everybody out there. You know, you all mean a lot to me. I know you've seen it already. I thanked you at the end of the Dio documentary. You're in the credits.
Oh, thank you, Ralph.
Yeah. You know, I say special thanks. And I thank my bass player, too. And I told him that last night. And he goes, why? I didn't help you. No, I'm just special thanks to cool people I know, you know? So, yeah. And, dude, thank you so much, man, for being part of this episode and turning me on to Morgana Lefay, and you sent me Sanctified as well, and I really dig both CDs, man. And people should go out there and check them out.
I agree, yeah. And before you go, Ralph, I have another idea. If you could put off the air for a show that I want to do and then commission for next time. I think you'll dig the idea. I don't think it's been done much because I've looked for it. Oh, maybe he's gone.
No, I'm here.
Okay, yeah, it's pretty cool. I'll set it up. I don't want to overload you, so I'll get back to you in a bit of the show because I want to do it. It'll take a bit of time maybe on your side. You may not know right away, but it took me a bit. I know to think of it. It was top 10 songs where the cover, the title track is your favorite song off the album. Tough, huh?
Yeah, and I'll do it, but I'm going to explain the show. I know I'm going to forget one.
I've already
say
done.
Like the top of my head, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be in any specific order.
My top 10 favorite title tracks.
Yeah, or
I like that idea.
Yeah, or it can be that, or one where you think the title track is the best song off the album too.
Right. I can tell. Right off the top of my head, Painkiller. You know.
Oh,
that's my favorite song off that album. You know.
Right at the top of my head is now actually it's going on my list. I had to readjust it as Hell Destroyer. Fuck, that's an awesome song.
Oh, yeah.
That's my favorite song off that album. So I was like, oh, I have to take something off. So I did that. But I want to give you some time to do that, and I don't want to rush you. And then I also because I know you got other stuff going on. It's not really fair if I just keep trying to just get.
It's cool. It's cool. I mean, like this episode will air I got like 4 episodes in the can that I haven't put up yet, you know.
There's a busy guy, man.
Yeah, the quarantine, dude, you know. I mean, dude, that Dio documentary took me forever to do.
Oh, I bet.
But I have nothing to do. So, you know, usually, with the documentaries I've done in the past and I've made music videos, I take my time, I do a little bit here and then do my thing, but I can't do my thing now. So I'm just home all day. So the Dio documentary came out. I mean, I finished it kind of quick. And, it didn't pass the censors with YouTube, but the first round over fucking We Rock studio version. And I was like, oh my God, after all this work, now I got to fucking take that song out and render it and put it back in, But, and it's there. So, and what's really cool is that, I'm not only releasing it on the 10th anniversary of his passing, but I went on Google and wrote, what time did he pass away? And it said 7:45 a.m. So I said, okay, that was California time. So I'm going to debut it at 10:45 a.m. On the day of passing. So it's like right when he died, I want to put that shit up. And I think I'm very proud of it, dude. I'm really happy.
Oh, I'm so stoked. I'm excited. I cannot wait. I mean, I can wait. Obviously, I have to, and I'd be patient. But that's one's I can't wait to hear that. I bet you it's so killer. I
dude,
enjoyed.
I'm very proud of it. I think it came out fucking awesome. But I will tell you right now. I know what people will be complaining about with the documentary is that I don't really talk about the 3 Elf albums. I only talk a little bit about the first one, and that's it. Because to me, I'm not the biggest fan of those Elf albums, and I don't want to fucking say anything bad about Dio during the documentary. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I kind of breeze through it. I show the album covers and I clips of Elf and have Ronnie talk about Elf, But then after that, I really don't chime in much about all the albums, but I do sometimes here and there. I talk about each album, but mostly it's Dio talking through the whole thing. So yeah, I think it just came out so fucking good. And all right, so yeah, all that'll be fucking edited out, obviously. All right, so now we're going back in. So, dude, thank you so much, man, for your time, for your support, and for sending me these killer CDs. I can't thank you enough, brother. And thank you so much for being on the Vieira Vault, bro.
Yeah, thanks for having me. You're welcome. It's a pleasure as always.
Right on, Jackson. Till next time, my friend. Schmack 'em a gob.
Schmack 'em a gob.